This is the GameBloc Cast, episode 10. I'm your host, Richard Sherman, and on the show this week we have Jonathan,
Kiral,
Kiral,
Kearney,
and Curdy.
Yeah, that's me.
Thank you, Kiral, for jacking the intro.
I did? What?
Okay.
Don't blame me for Jonathan's misgivings.
Okay, well, welcome listeners to the show where it's called GameBloc, and we talk about video games, video game news, and things that are relatively geeky in nature. And to start off, we're going to talk about the games we've been playing this week. So, Jonathan, what have you been playing?
Well, first of all, I started my week with playing South Park: The Stick of Truth, which is a goofy gaffsters of a game.
Gaffsters.
Game-wise, it's a traditional RPG. Plays mostly like Paper Mario, where you have timings for stuff, or you can hit things and do more damage. But I think the main appeal from the game comes from the comedy, which is, South Park comedy, so I like it. I think it's funny. I don't think you're going to like this game if you don't really like Matt Stone or Trey Parker's writing, because basically it's a regular RPG that's funny. So check it out if you like South Park. If not, just pass over it.
So it's like a more mature Paper Mario Thousand Year Door?
Yeah, but less stuff.
All right.
It's a really basic Paper Mario.
It's like basic Paper Mario with less stuff. Jonathan 2016.
Yep.
All right.
Vote for me. I've also been playing Just Cause 3, which is really fun, but is actually destroying my computer from the inside out. I ran some tests on it and found that my GPU, on low settings, this is the lowest settings, GPU was running at 25%, RAM was running at 80-ish%, but that was with Chrome open, bear in mind. And all 4 of my cores of my processor were running at 100%.
That's pretty high.
So I would say that's most of my CPU running. But other than that, it's a great game. It's just go around destroying things and taking down the regime. To be starting your own regime, which is kind of funny, but oh well.
You take down the man, so you can bring in your own man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really a story game. You just kind of go around and blow stuff up, and that's what's so great about it.
So is the story like Just Cause 2, where it's like loosely important?
Yeah. There's not really factions, per se. There's just one big, revolutionary group. Compared to Just Cause 2, it's much more beautiful. The game is gorgeous. It doesn't just run. It's not like it's just a poorly optimized game. Like it's a beautiful game. With actually really far render distances. You could be super far away from an object and still shoot at it, and it would still hit it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's a really fun game. I think it's full price though, so be wary of that. I got it during Christmas and was just waiting to play it for when I upgraded my PC a little bit more, but I couldn't wait. I just really wanted to play it. Get it, it's fun. It's $60.
Awesome. Is that it? Do you have anything more to add, or?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right. What I've been playing this week, I'm gonna.
It's finally your turn to talk.
Aha. Well, so the Final Fantasy 15 demo that wasn't part of the Final Fantasy. What's that game? Type 0 HD Day 1 Edition. There was a demo with that, but there's actually a demo for the masses now called the Final Fantasy 15 Platinum demo, which follows around a boy version of the protagonist that's not like the adult version, but him as a kid. His name's Noctis, if you guys don't know who he is, and this game is awesome. I'm kind of sold on this demo, just by the way it plays. At the beginning, it just kind of shows you the basic things. You get to see the world a little bit. This all takes place in his dreams, and a little fox that's called Carbuncle. It follows you around, and it's not like the Carbuncle in Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which is this giant green, orange, white, terrifying thing.
Yeah, really big and fluffy, kind of round.
Yeah, that just sleeps most of the time. This one's like an adorable white little fox with a tiny little horn on its head.
Oh.
And it guides you through your dreams. And so like you get to walk around the world a little bit, and it's a very impressive game for PS4. I would say that much. I think the frame rate for me, at least, I don't know if it's just because I play PC games a lot, but like it felt a little choppy to me, but I'm sure it's just that's going to fix itself. If not, like it's just a really graphically beautiful game. And a little bit into the demo is only like half an hour long, but I may have rushed through it a little bit. But the combat is amazingly fluid, and it's not like typical Final Fantasies where like you stumble upon an enemy and it goes into like a turn-based thing. You just see an enemy, you can lock onto it and start attacking it. And
kind of like Xenoblade?
Kind of, yeah, but it's not like MMO-ish where you know like the only way you can attack is by auto-attacking or pressing buttons that cool down, you know?
You still have the same move system they have in Final Fantasy where attacks and magic and skills each take a turn?
No, it's not even turn-based at all. It's much more hack and slash.
I'm a little old school, I think.
Yeah, but
Final Fantasy-wise.
Yeah, I know. It's really cool, though, because you basically you can assign 4 weapons to the, you know, like the square, the X, the triangle, and the circle buttons. Mm-hmm. And each one... wait, no, that's not how it works. You use the D-pad to choose which weapon you want to use. So you can switch to your, like, light and fast weapon and then, you know, switch on the fly to, like, a heavier, slower weapon to attack. Cool. And then also magic and stuff is all on the same bar, too. So that's really cool. I really liked that. Because I saw in the trailers, it looks like a really fluid game. And the combat is really solid. And I just really, really liked it. And then like there's these little pads you can touch on the ground that like change it from day to night or the weather. Or I touched one and then I turned into this weird crocodile dinosaur crazy thing that I could attack enemies with, and that was also amazing. So you can transform into different things. I think I even transformed to a truck at one point. I don't know why. But then the end was like this amazing fight between the Iron Giant, which is Kenny, if you can remember the boss from Mount Kalanda.
Yeah.
He's basically that, but an awesome, like, darker, more action-y version.
Oh, cool.
Of him. And so you can fight you start fighting him, but then you're lighter, like, but at this point you're playing as like the adolescent grown-up Noctis. So he has all of his real weapons, because in the previous stages you were just using like a squeaky hammer or a toy sword or something like that. But now you have his sword that allows him to warp different places. So now,
like, teleport nearby?
Yeah, so it was really cool. So like halfway through the fight, Carbuncle says, "I'm gonna let you point warp now." So what point warping does is that you can basically lock onto a location and then hit triangle, and then Noctis will throw his sword in that direction and warp there. So there was like an edge of a building, so I locked onto, so I could throw my sword up there, and then I was just hanging off the side of this building, you know, recharging my health and stuff, while the Iron Giant was just kind of running around. I think that's his name. And then I could lock onto the Iron Giant and then throw my sword back down to him and start doing like a crazy combo on him. And it's really cool. Like I really, really enjoyed this demo. Also, if you complete this demo, you get Carbuncle as a summon in the main game. So it gives you a reason to play it if you haven't already. And I think it's a great way to show off how Final Fantasy 15 works, and, you know, gives you a taste for the game. And so I'm really looking forward to this game after playing the demo.
Now, it's only on Xbox One and PS4?
Yes, and potentially NX, because there's been 2 different rumors based on it, but who knows?
I'm going to have to wait I don't want to wait till 2017 on the NX.
Yeah, well,
just buy a PS4.
Yeah, just buy.
I don't want a PS4 either, just for one game.
Yeah, that's true.
I haven't stuck with an RPG in so long, I can't invest that much money.
Yeah, well, they do know that there's a lot of people who want it on PC, and Square Enix has been really, like, PC-friendly lately, so who knows, maybe they'll port it sometime down the road.
I hope so.
All right,
that'd be nice.
So that's pretty much it. Kiral, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Roller Coaster Tycoon 3.
Whoa.
And let me explain why. Is that there's been a few videos, and there's actually a news article about Planet Coaster and Roller Coaster Tycoon World, where World was actually delayed a bit, I think. I believe, and so people were talking about Planet Coaster, which is by the original guys on I think Roller Coaster Tycoon 3.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not exactly sure on all the details or not, but now I was like, oh man, I have Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. Like, why don't I just play it? A lot of people didn't like it as much as like the original 2 Roller Coaster Tycoons.
I'm one of those people.
Okay, yeah. Well, whatever. I like Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 simply because I like just messing around and like the 3D graphics. I think the 3D aspect's really cool. You might not to get to do as much, or like the changes are a little bit much if you have played the older Roller Coaster Tycoons, but I never actually got into Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 or 2, and so this is the game I played for a really long time as a kid, simply because I like making roller coasters and making people die still.
Yes, that's one of the more fun things about the game.
Exactly. And so you do this, and you can ride your own roller coasters. It's like, who doesn't want to do that? Like,
oh, so it goes into
first person view.
Yes,
That's
awesome.
cool. I think
like,
Richie, I think this is better.
No, it's not. Well, it's
Right.
mostly I like the first one more basically because nostalgia goggles.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
remember
remember
you used to
playing
play that a lot.
Yeah, I played that a lot as a kid. I remember playing it with my sisters and
Mhm.
stuff like that, and watching like making the shuttle loop go to like 120 miles an hour or something like that. So people, you just see people fly off in their coasters like slowly with no music, falling to the ground and exploding, and people would still come to your park even though people died.
Sounds like a good time.
It's a great time. And then like if people like throw up everywhere, you can just drown them. I had a water square just for throwing people into it so they could drown. And because the handymen or whatever people cleaned it up would never ever clean it up. And then like I had 15 different handymen running around and they would not clean up the throw up.
So
Yeah.
doesn't all that still happen in 3, or did they get rid of all that?
no, you can still do it in 3. I don't know why why you think it's so different.
I just like the art style and everything better in the
It
first one.
definitely, yeah. That's what I think most people complain about is just like that transition from the 2D to 3D.
Yeah, it's weird.
I like the way the 2D looks better, but I think it might be worth it just for the first person mode.
Maybe.
Yeah,
That's a tough
that's
choice.
that's
As someone
why
who's never played any of them.
that's why I think World and Planet Coaster is going to be cool. I think more people are excited about Planet Coaster because it seems to not be like a cash in. This is more like it's like an actual passion project from the people instead of the I don't know who produced. I think it might be Atari. It might not be.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
Atari, it looks like, did 3, or at least
Yeah.
published 3.
So I think people are like hesitant about them because it just seems kind of like a cash grab rather than actual passion going into it and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So did you
But
make any outlandish crazy coasters yet, or are you still in that like I'm just gonna use the stock ones phase?
No, I've made some pretty crazy coasters, like because it's cool because you can go like underground and you can like shoot them straight up and then straight down, or you can go through water, and you can add like there's ride events, so like there'll be like a part of the track that they'll like trigger over, and it'll be like a canyon that has like rocks falling down, and it's actually really cool, and you can put like scene items like moving dinosaurs or like huts with smoke coming out of them. So you can kind of make like a safari trek. Is one of the rides I made. It's like this jungle safari. Like you go in the jeep and just travels around really slowly. But I put dinosaurs and trees and other prehistoric scene items of that nature. And so I thought that's kind of cool because you can explore that in first person and kind of like make it how you want to feel. I don't know.
Yeah, that is kind of cool that there's themes because like in the original one you could only like throw around trees and fountains and stuff, but I would like to say that you could put coasters like underground and stuff in the original too. Just like to say that.
Okay. Yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah, when you were talking about Roller Coaster Tycoon World, I'm pretty sure like every article I've seen about it seems relatively negative. Like they threw it into early access and then it like apparently the early access version of the game is really bad. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think PC Gamer or someone had like the article tagline was like Roller Coaster Tycoon World limps into early access mode, which just based on that title just sounds like I don't know if you should get this game yet or not, but which is kind of sad because I really like the original. I guess I'll just play that one or see what everything else is about.
Yeah, I'll probably be looking for any news about either of the two and see which one seems to be the victor.
Yeah.
In the upcoming months.
I'd just like to say the reviews for Roller Coaster Tycoon World are mostly negative.
Oh, wow.
Is that on Steam?
Yeah.
Super Kitty Boing Boing didn't even have that.
Does it have? What does Super Kitty Boing Boing have?
It had one review, and it was from the guy that did the music.
Nice.
So I wrote a review. Now it has 2 positive reviews.
Hey.
Awesome. Everyone that listens, go share your support and love for Super Kitty Boing Bang. Boing.
Boing bang.
Boing boing.
Boing Bang. It's the new bullet hell version of the game.
Yep.
Okay, so
Wait, this review is great. There's a good and bad thing about this game. Good, it exists. Bad, it exists. Good, so does Planet Coaster.
yeah.
So,
With that, we're moving on to a group talk about a game we've all been playing this week, and that
Finally.
game, if you could call it a game, is Miitomo.
Yep.
we Tomo.
You, Tomo.
I Tomo. We all Tomo. So yeah, we've all had the game. Kenny's had it since it's been released in Japan. I got it the day it was released in the US, and Kiral and Jonathan got it sometime in between then and this podcast. So,
About 2 days ago.
what are your each of you? What are your general impressions on the game?
It's so dumb, but I keep coming back to it.
Yeah, there's nothing to do, but then I keep opening the app.
Yeah. I just keep answering questions and then looking at people's questions and leaving feeling like I just wasted 10 minutes, but then like 20 minutes later I'll come back answer a couple questions.
Yeah, and what's up with those load times? Why are there load
a lot
times?
of-
Everything's
There's
online.
so many loading times.
Every time you open a page, I think it fetches all the data necessary for that page.
Yeah, like when
It's so ridiculous.
like when you like
Nintendo
something.
testing out the cloud processing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, like for the patent on the NX.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
This
No.
isn't a good sign.
no. Well, like there's little things that I'm like, I don't know if that's necessary. Like there's a load time for when you like someone's question. I think it's because they're fetching their voice from the game, like the character's voice, because they say thanks to you once you liked their comment.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
I think they're fetching the person's voice and then
Just like
That's
have
why it
it
takes so
saved
long.
on the device one time,
Once
or
it's,
just
once
have like
your friends, that sounds like something we could do.
yeah, but
Yeah.
This game has an 1,000 friend cap, so
Yeah.
that could get crazy. And some people on the internet already have 1,000 friends, which is like really weird.
so just
How?
save like a voice API, I guess, and have it so like, oh, this person has this mixture of voice. Just have that saved on the device.
Yeah, it's two
and then it
variables
reads from
that
it.
can be negative or positive each way.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not a lot. Yeah, the loading times are a bit annoying, but
But the cool part
Still
is about the
pretty
loading time is that you get to see your friends like thrashing about in like a temper tantrum
oh yeah,
or something like that, which is always
Yeah.
kind of cool.
they give you a little animation with the people you know
Yeah,
during the transitions.
that's true.
I find there's been a lot of loading times, but I don't think they're like annoyingly long. They're just annoyingly frequent.
yeah.
I notice them and they're frequent, but they're not like Destiny.
Yeah, well, I don't
Or
really
GTA 5.
like so
Yeah.
far. I haven't really cared that much.
Mhm.
But like, cause I've just actually been really enjoying this game, and I have no idea why. I think the most fun I have with it is the me photo part
Oh
of it.
yeah,
With all your friends, and you're able to move them around and do weird poses and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's just
like
a lot of fun.
10 or 15 minutes before we even started recording, I got a cat skirt. So I changed into it. I took a picture of myself running in like typical Asian street, and I said I'm late to school. So
I'm gonna
Fun
look at
things
it
like
right
that.
now.
anime meme.
Yeah,
But you know,
and it's also
that-
just if you want to go, you can.
no, go ahead.
I think it's also just really fun to like comment on your friends' questions and stuff because the me's are really expressive.
They are.
And I really like that. I think it's just a really neat game overall. I think it's definitely the game, like, some guy, like, tweeted before, Miitomo was announced, and they were like, the first app Nintendo will be released is nothing you would think they would do, and they were right.
Yeah.
And
it's a lot like what's that game called? Tamagotchi Life.
yes, a lot of people have been making that comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that. What was I gonna say? I forgot. I really like the way Nintendo's handling this pay-to-play thing, where it's not like in your face. Like you really have to look for it.
And you get a lot of coins, a lot more than I thought, from answering questions and commenting and liking.
Yeah.
It's actually, I probably get more money from that than I get in my $200 daily allowance, 200 coin daily allowance.
Yeah, I think Nintendo's doing this because if any company's gonna catch any flack for having like, some mom who's like mad at Nintendo because her son stole their credit card and bought a bunch of, I don't know, candies. I think that's what you can buy.
Yeah. You feed your friends candies to get them to answer questions that you don't want to just wait for to show up.
Which is kind of
randomly.
weird because you're bribing people with candy, and
Yeah.
at least in the U.S., that has a stigma to it that's not very positive.
Yeah.
I bribed my brother with candy.
But also you can buy play tickets too, can't you?
Oh yeah, for
Miichinko.
Miichinko.
You can spend a play ticket or you can spend 500 Miitomo coins.
Yeah,
which you can just
Either
get
one.
by answering
questions.
probably like 50 questions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
around 50.
also
Or
logging
commenting.
Even liking a thing gives you almost as many coins as answering a question.
Yeah, and you can also just log in daily, and you get rewards for that.
I don't think you get coins every time though.
It depends on what the
Sometimes you get the
reward
game
is.
tickets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like the advent calendars where you open the thing every day. You never know what's inside, except this one you do. It's different
Or
every
really
day.
bad chocolate.
Yeah, it's the Lego ones were the best, but
True.
this one's different every day. Sometimes it's coins, sometimes it's candy, sometimes it's a play ticket. But
Yeah.
you can see the calendar for like a month at least in the future.
So, and this game has already surpassed 3 million downloads. I think it had 1 million downloads in Japan after like the first couple days, and then like the day after it got released in the West, it got past 3 million, which is amazing.
It was on
Yeah.
the front page of the Play Store like the day after it came out.
I heard that they're going to do that for like a week, at least on the iOS stores, that Miitomo's going to be there up in front, which is interesting.
A bunch of my friends will actually get it then.
Yeah, I'm really curious on like how much money it's actually making, because I can't imagine it's making a lot. But I could be wrong because I don't really play that many mobile games. But
Maybe they're using our question answers as ad stuff, I guess.
or they're just
Yeah.
collecting
They're just like
all
selling
their
it.
information.
They're just selling it to advertisers or something. I don't know.
No, what's probably happening is that the NX is actually a personal companion robot, and answering all your questions on Miitomo will make it understand you more. And
So, this is getting Skynetty. I don't
Yeah.
like this.
and then it'll slowly learn and morph into you and then replace you. And then the whole point of it replacing you is to go buy more Nintendo games. So then
With your wallet.
with your wallet, with your money that they took from you from your body, and
Yeah, in the middle
They
of the
could-
night, they'll roofie you or whatever, chloroform you,
Slightly
and then
more
steal your wallet.
Slightly more seriously, they could actually answer a lot of secret questions with this.
You're
Yeah.
right. They could just access all your email stuff and be like, hey, Jonathan, we found this incriminating photo of you in your email. Why don't you
no.
go buy Mario Party 11 and it'll all go away?
We won't show this to your employer.
There was one where it like straight up asked me one of the secret questions for my Apple account, my Apple ID, and I think I just skipped it.
What is your last 4 digits of your social security number?
No, it was like, what was your the first album you ever purchased? I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It asked me that too, but I think I have different answers because I honestly can't remember the first album I've ever purchased.
That's a really bad secret question, then, Richie. You know what's
Yeah,
the
it is.
worst? You forget everything, including your secret questions.
You forget what you had for dinner yesterday, so...
Yeah, I haven't. It's asked me like 4 times, and I never have an answer.
What?
I am learning a lot about myself. I realized how obsessed with input lag and other latencies I am. When people, it asked Richie, hey, what do you think Kenny spends his most of his time doing? And he said, drumming and latency stuff. And I was like, whoa, I didn't realize how much that's all I talk about and all I do.
Well,
And
honestly, I
also,
learned it mostly from Miitomo.
that is true, but it didn't click until you told me. I got it read back to me how much I was talking about it. Also, what was up with my celebrity crush? Who was he?
Oh, John Stamos. It asked me like, "Oh, who's Kenny's celebrity crush?" And John Stamos was in a lot of like Netflix April Fools things, and so that was just the first name I thought of, and I was like, definitely John
Okay.
Stamos. It's
Oh,
not.
okay.
It wasn't actually anything applicable to you.
Oh, okay.
This made me learn that I'm really sarcastic and kind of an asshole.
Yep. That's pretty
It
much.
asked me what my favorite kind of fruit was, and I said Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh God. You know what, Jonathan? That might have kicked you out of Miitomo because every time my me gets a question from you, it's like, Jonathan's favorite food is hamburgers. I get in like a service error, and I have to go back to my apartment. No matter what question it is, I don't know what it is, but it won't let me like or comment on any of your things.
It's okay.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's really weird. But Kiral says you're a figment of my imagination and you don't actually exist, but
Yes. That's why you've been having so many audio problems.
yep.
I don't actually exist.
Yep. That's how we can capture
And
his
I'm-
audio. Or I'm making two different voices at the same time.
And you're just really talented,
Yep.
which we know is not true. So
Yep. Also true.
uh,
So any final thoughts on Miitomo?
I can't stop playing.
I know, and it's weird. I
I
don't
took
know
out my
why.
phone partway through this podcast. And answered like 5 questions.
The first day I was like, okay, that's pretty fun. I don't know how much mileage I'm actually going to get out of this game. And then I black out and I wake up and my phone's in my hand and Miitomo's on. It's like, you've answered 300 questions. And I'm like, what? I haven't actually answered that much, but
I don't like how much battery it wastes
that is a common
because of
problem.
all the things it's trying to fetch.
Yes.
And then trying to delete at the same time.
Yeah,
There
well.
is a power saving mode.
Yeah, but it still sucks. It still kills my battery.
Well, carry around a portable battery
Yeah,
or a
that's
replaceable one.
that's what I want to do.
But yeah, I could say that's probably my biggest complaint is the battery life. But that's a common complaint. Maybe they'll fix it. And they knew about it, obviously, because they made the power saving mode, which I don't know how many apps actually have that.
Not a lot. Not enough.
I feel like it's becoming more popular though.
It's
The
you can
power
also
saving mode.
you can also set a lot of system settings, at least in iOS, that disable communication on 4G. You can disable a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, or you could just be like a
Location
Nintendo
data.
fanboy, or just say, it's not Miitomo's fault. The batteries in cell phones are just way too small.
It's just you know.
Yeah.
It would be cool if the batteries were bigger, though. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I really like the game. I'm glad I downloaded it for free and probably will never spend any money on it, but I still have fun.
It would be really dumb to spend money on that game. There's nothing you should spend money on in that game.
Unless it's a cat on your shoulder.
Nope. Not even that.
You sure?
I'm 100% positive.
No. It's pretty cool. I got one. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I get it, Rich.
News.
Hey, speaking of John Stamos,
Yeah, so April Fool's is kind of an interesting holiday because lots of
it's not a holiday.
fools, I guess. Well, I guess it's not really a holiday, but it was an interesting day because lots of different things happened prank-wise. One of them was like the John Stamos thing on Netflix.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
Yep.
I didn't have a Netflix subscription, but I just saw a lot of people like, what's with all this John Stamos on Netflix today?
Yeah, Kiral, what were some of the things they said? I can't remember.
Movies John Stamos likes to watch with his with his nephew. Movies John Stamos wants you to watch again, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
One of my
Also-
favorite ones was Snoop Tube or whatever it's called.
Oh gosh.
Snoopavision.
They gave
Snoopavision.
they gave you a 360-degree panoramic video view of
Snoop Dogg watching videos in his
Yeah.
home theater.
they had yes, but wasn't it usually with the people in the video? So for like Double Rainbow, they had the Double Rainbow remix. They had the original Double Rainbow all the way guy.
I think that was
Sitting
the
next
only
to him.
guy.
Oh, that was the only one I watched.
Because
it was
most
the
of
only
them
one I
were
cared
like
about.
POV mountain biking, or
He had
the ice cream truck kids.
Yeah, he had a couple people sitting next to him with for the slow-mo guys one, but
Mhm.
I'm not sure if they were involved.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it
also
was pretty cool.
they made a Snow Doge clan or something like that in World of Warcraft.
Oh
And
yeah,
Oh yeah, and
that was
speaking of World
interesting.
of Warcraft, there was a Hearthstone trailer, and
Yeah.
it was play all your favorite Hearthstone cards in a 3D MMO, Hearthstone the 3D, where you hone your craft in a world of war.
Yeah, they were actually creative. I feel like this was a more creative April Fool's than last time, or I just wasn't paying as much attention.
Speaking of creative, there was Google's email April Fool's prank, which you could reply with a mic drop, and it would totally unsubscribe you from the
Nice.
email thread. But it replaced the reply and archive button, which a lot of people use. So
Oh.
people would be talking in an email thread and then accidentally hit the reply and mic drop, which
Oh,
would
no.
send important business people a gif of minions dropping a mic, and then they would
Oh,
lose out on
God.
business deals.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, Google got in trouble for that.
Yikes. There was also one on Nintendo Life, I think, that they made a 3DS Splatoon trailer, I think, or a video or a image or something, and it looked actually pretty convincing, but I saw that it was an April Fool's prank before I actually saw the real news story, so they called it like Splatoon Legends or something because there was a Hyrule Warriors Legends that came out for the
Yep.
3DS that apparently is really not good.
Mhm.
But it looked pretty convincing because it basically looked like Smash 3DS graphics, but Splatoon. So that was
Well,
kind of
that's
cool.
not bad.
No, I thought it was cool because it had like the really
Yeah.
black edges on all the
Oh
characters and
right,
things
a
like
lot
that.
of people really hated that.
I thought it made sense because if you had the smaller 3DS like I did at the time, like it was not really easy to see your character and all the chaos. But you
Yeah,
could
it's
turn
nice
it
to
off
have the
too.
lines.
So I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, so April Fools, we got you.
Oh, Google also did Google Cardboard Plastic,
Yes.
which was VR for real life.
Yep.
It's just Google Cardboard, but instead of cardboard, it's made out of plastic, and you don't put your phone in
That sounds like double in price at least.
it. Worth it.
Yeah. So in other news, native bash in Windows is a big deal. Kenny, talk about that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be a little vague, I think, because I don't want to spread incorrect information. But what Microsoft has said, and I don't understand it perfectly, and I'm not entirely sure how they're implementing it, but they've said the Bash shell is coming to Windows. So
Don't be bashful.
yeah,
Maybe it's an April Fool's joke.
it's not an April Fool's joke. It is not a virtual machine. It is not cross-compiled tools. It's native Bash. So you'll be able to use the same wonderful, much better than the DOS shell scripting language that you have in Linux or in a lot of Linux distributions. It says Microsoft is working with Canonical, the people that are funding Ubuntu, and they're going to have implementations of a lot of programs besides the shell. They're going to have stuff like SSH and some other things that I've lost the list of. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work, but I'm super excited. I tried to write a batch script. I don't know if I told you, but it was really hard because things are very inconsistent. Things are different in .bat files than they are typing into the command prompt, and things just randomly have different rules depending on where you use them. I thought that the bash shell scripting on Ubuntu was tough, but it's amazing. This is going to be great.
What is... trying to form my question, but I can't think of how to... Is Windows a Unix-based operating system?
No, it is based on MS-DOS, I believe, at least in the back, or something else. It has nothing to do with Unix. Oh, this was the quote. They're going to have a Linux user mode integrated with the Windows kernel. They're actually going to... It's going to be like running native... having a native Linux shell. It'll make a lot of software more compatible and shell scripting better.
Woo. For
Yeah,
that,
it's
all
like-
those PowerShell users.
Yeah, no.
No.
It's not that bad. Now that I'm used to it, I can make a 5-line bat file that does basic file stuff in like 30 minutes. It just took 2 hours the first time.
Have to learn it first.
Yeah. Bash was way easier. It's at least consistent. Yeah, so you should, if you're interested, you should look it up. There's a video that Microsoft has that actually explains it a lot better, but Bash in Windows, it's going to be great.
Hey.
So I had a question. Did we talk about the iPhone SE?
No, we didn't. We didn't talk
like
about that
since
whole
release?
convention.
Don't you mean the iPhone Snooze Edition?
Oh, snap.
I didn't make that joke.
It's pretty much, that's pretty much what it is. It has the same case design with a different shade of space gray, of course, because they can't leave that the same.
Never.
But it has the same case design as the iPhone 5 and 5S. So except for where the antenna bands are, actually no, even where. So yeah, you probably won't be able to tell it apart from a 5S. They kept the case design the same, but they improved the internals a lot. It is
Yes, they did.
basically an iPhone 6, their flagship normal reasonable size phone, for $400, $399.
And you can get it in rose gold.
You can get it in rose gold, but they
Boy,
did
always
the
wanted
few.
to think iPhone.
Yeah, the few things they did downgrade is they kept the same camera, they kept the same processor, same RAM, and everything there is great. They use the old Touch ID, which takes a little longer than the new Touch ID sensor to register your fingerprints.
How dare they?
Which I've got people here have iPhone 6Ss. They complain every once in a while they can't just wake up their phone and look at their lock screen by pressing the home button because Touch ID registers so fast. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. They lost Force Touch, or 3D Touch.
Now
Sorry,
they
Force
can never
Touch is
be
on the
Jedi.
watch. Yeah, which is kind of sad, but no one here actually uses it. They said, well, nothing supports it, so I don't wind up using it very much. It hasn't caught on as quickly as Apple hoped. And the last thing that's a significant downgrade is the screen. It has like 70% of the brightness of the iPhone 6S's screen. So it's not quite as bright and vivid, but otherwise, same camera, same processor, so many things are the same. It's like getting a smaller version of their flagship phone for $400. Whoa,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah, but also if you get it under the 2-year contract,
It's free.
my sister was getting a phone and I had to help her get it apparently because my dad asked me to, and you can get the 16 gigabyte one at least on Verizon on a 2-year contract for 99 cents.
Yeah, it's supposed to be their new free phone since they're not keeping the old generation around, I think.
Yeah. And
And
also
the great thing is you can get the 64 gigabyte one for just $100 more, which isn't really a good deal when you think about the memory. But as Apple goes, that's quadrupling storage space for $100 is good.
my sister could have gotten it for $50. So
Yeah.
on the 2-year upgrade. So for
Oh, yeah.
the 64 gig one. So
All of the prices I'm quoting are for off contract. I've been thinking from a T-Mobile
okay.
perspective.
all right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and
no,
there
that
was
makes sense.
there was one more change. They are using the old vibration motor instead of their taptic feedback engine thing, which means it goes bzzzt instead of like tap tap tap, which is
Different.
it's a lot louder and just generally not as nice. A lot of people said that was one of the most annoying things when they switched down from like a 6. It had the old vibration motor, which was a lot more annoying.
Okay, so it's a motor in the old one, but what is it? Is it not a motor in the 6?
I honestly don't know. Whatever they did, it's supposed to feel like it's tapping you or something. I don't know, but they said it's a lot better, a lot quieter, and it's feels better.
Well, yeah.
I don't
'cause
have
you
one
can't-
myself, so I can't really say.
You can't like have a motor for a tap because you have to start it, but then you have to wait for it to slow down. But then it
Yeah.
would still be vibrating the phone. That's really confusing.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about their new motor feels better. I'm sorry, I don't actually know. I can look it up.
Yeah, well, Apple always kind of has that weird wizardry kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, remember when you and I were looking at the new MacBooks and they like the touchpads actually don't click, but when you
Yeah.
press down on them, they vibrate and it makes it feel like a click, but
It's
they're actually
that's
not clicking.
It really does feel like a
I-
click. It's really weird.
I tricked Richie. I said, "Hey, feel this click," and he's like, "Yeah, it feels great. That's a pretty nice click." And then I said, "No, it's not. It's all fake."
It's all fake. Your life's a lie, Richie.
Yeah. And so here, when Apple says a redesigned vibrator inside the 6S and 6S Plus branded as the Taptic engine gives you real-time feedback in the form of subtle taps, the company is not exaggerating. This is a quote from iDownloadBlog, just so I'm not plagiarizing directly, without credit. Their new oscillating mechanism is now enclosed with its own aluminum shell, reaches its full power in just one cycle, and stops just as quickly versus 10 or more. So it accelerates more quickly. It's just like a bzzzt instead of a bzzzt. It's
All right.
faster.
Okay, well,
Yeah, so that's that.
there's your vibration nerdiness for the.
Yep, real science
For the
measured
week.
in
Hey, speaking
how-
of small
measured in
things,
bzzzt.
Dark Soul
Hey,
3
hey.
was...
No. Small amounts of time, that is. Dark Souls
No.
3 was finished in 2 hours already. So there's
Two
that.
It's not
midgets.
even out yet
Yeah, well,
It was...
it's
two
not out for
midgets.
PC.
for some of us.
Yeah, I think it's been out in Japan for a while, and
Mm-hmm.
I think a week, and it's already under 2 hours.
2 midgets.
No. That's
In the
what-
show notes, someone put 2 midgets instead of hours
yeah,
or
that's
whatever.
what Kiral put. I put hours. So
No, you didn't put anything. You
yeah,
only
I
put
did.
2.
I accidentally hyperlinked the hours part.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
yep.
so I did.
So
put
the
it there.
link is broken.
Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty impressive since the West hasn't even gotten the game yet as of this recording. So that's I think it comes out in. Does it come out on the consoles as the same day it comes out on Steam, which is
I
like
don't know.
the 11th?
I'm pretty sure. I thought it was April 5th was.
I think Steam's like 11th or 12th or
Oh,
something.
okay, that sounds right.
But so yeah, that's pretty interesting. That game looks really good, I guess.
It's really hard. It makes me want to... It already makes me want to kill myself.
True. Except no. Speaking of things not being on PC, Phil Spencer, the CEO of Xbox, kind of said probably no Halo 5 on PC.
This is dumb.
Yeah, well, he said we don't want to look back too much on. We want to look at the now, which is why a game on the Xbox One is called Rare Replay, which is a bunch of games that were all released.
Are in the back.
Yeah, a long time ago. So
What does that even have to do with it being on PC? That's more progressive.
yeah, well, they said they have a lot of they have a lot of opportunity when it comes to Halo being on PC. And he was saying that the reason why Halo 2 was so good on PC was because when they were developing it, they were thinking this is going to be on Xbox and PC. But they're saying Halo 5 won't be good on PC because it was only for Xbox One, which is dumb.
That is the biggest load of bullcrap I've ever heard.
I know.
That's they're trying to cover. That's them trying to cover their tracks hardcore.
Because think about it. Then why don't they just make it a requirement to use the Xbox One controller? Because then it's the same thing.
Then I wouldn't play it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, or make it optional or something. I feel like this is not a decent enough excuse. Just say no instead of giving us a dumb excuse like that. If
just
No, it's because-
we want the Xbox to sell more.
we want it
It's
to
like
still be
the
relevant
only
somehow.
Good game.
Yeah.
It's because PC gamers wouldn't like how dumbed down and linear Halo 5 is,
Snap.
rather than
Oh, snap. Kirill spit
Console.
2016.
console players.
The multiplayer, I forget exactly what everything is called, but the way the multiplayer works and the way you earn whatever tokens they are that let you summon things are pretty cool. The
Yeah.
multiplayer is pretty complicated.
I've always had fun with the Halo multiplayer, but I think it's always kind of shared the same thing as Mario Party, where it's a fun multiplayer experience, no matter what, as long as you have the right friends to play it.
Yeah, but it's not like Counter-Strike where
True.
it could be competitive.
Is anything
I actually-
Counter-Strike?
I had
Hate
Counter-Strike's pretty good. I did have a
Well,
question.
Well, Jonathan,
Do you know
maybe
what
you should
hap-
just go.
Yeah. So I had a question. What happened to the Russian Halo beta thing?
I have no
The
idea.
online
honestly.
Halo.
I don't know.
Halo Online is active. It's an active thing.
Why is it
Is
in
it in
Russia and
development?
not in here?
I don't know.
No, it's here. It's supposed to be it's a free Halo. It's an official Halo, unofficial Halo mod.
Oh, it's
So-
unofficial.
Yeah,
It looked pretty official to me.
Yeah.
it's not.
Interesting. Well, I wish it would come over here because that's the only way I'm
No,
gonna ever play
the
Halo.
beta was in Russia. I think it's actually. I'm pretty sure it's actually already out. Like not out, but like
Yeah.
released to the public, all over the world.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Well, cool. So don't look forward to Halo 5 on PC because it's probably not going to happen. There will probably be some Halo PC thing that'll be some weird stuff. But if Halo 5 ever comes out, it's going to be interesting because just like on PC, because then we'll just be like, hey, Phil, what's going on, buddy? You just said there was no chance. But
You're a liar, and we'll never
Okay,
be able to
so-
try Microsoft.
So I was incorrect about my earlier statement. So the game was only released in Russia and has since been shut down for further development, but it can be played without restrictions using a mod called El Dorito.
Oh yeah, that was what I used.
I
Now,
only
isn't-
use L Mountain Dew, so
Yeah, I prefer Elman do Blue Voltage.
Now,
yes.
does it say whether it was official? Because I could have sworn it was Bungie and Microsoft or 343 and Microsoft.
No, it's developed by Saber Interactive and published by Innova Co.
Oh,
Neither
okay.
of
So,
those.
SARL.
okay, it sounds unrelated then.
that's Microsoft's Russian company.
Is it?
No, I'm kidding.
No.
In other news,
Hey, speaking of things with the number 5 in it,
yeah.
Whoa.
Final Fantasy 15 had its Final Fantasy 15 Uncovered event in Los Angeles. I wish I could have gone because I live in that area, but I couldn't. So basically, the big thing that happened was that we finally got a release date. September 30th is when this game is coming out. Also, they had the demo release that night, and they're having a couple cool things, like they're having a movie and like something like a CGI movie, kind of like Advent Children, I think. And several episodes of like a mini series that accomplishes something. I'm not sure what it is. A really awesome looking deluxe set that's very expensive. Or that's the like ultimate collector's edition. I can't remember, but and also it was confirmed that the car you drive around in that game is also an airship. So
cool.
there you go. And also, Stand By Me, the song actually works really well when it's sung by a woman and in a Final Fantasy 15 trailer.
also they're gonna release a character for Smash Brothers from Final Fantasy 15.
That's not true. But that would be kind of cool because I think Noctis or whatever his name is could be a really cool character. But we already got Cloud, so
With him in his edgy outfit.
that's true. All right, so that's kind of it for news, other than the fact that there's a gaming mouse that Logitech made.
Oh,
That's wireless, called the G900 Chaos Spectrum. That is Logitech trying to prove that wireless is now better and important than wired gaming mice. So, thoughts on that?
my least favorite thing about it is that it's $150.
Yes, I thought like even if it was like around $70 or $80, like I may have really considered it because I have the G602 and I really like it, and I just wish I had one that a wireless mouse that was more suited towards gaming and didn't have like a maximum DPI of 4,000 or 3,400 or something. It's really low.
Yeah, I have the Logitech. I can't remember the numbers, but it's really good. And I would really like it for it to be wireless because the cord gets caught on a lot of things.
Yeah, and this one would actually be a wired charger, which is nice because I have one that only works on batteries. Even though the batteries take like 250 hours or something to go down, it's still always kind of a scary thing when I'm thinking like my battery could go out at any minute because it said it was at 5% like 10 hours ago. So,
I have the Logitech G502 Proteus core.
oh yeah, that's a really awesome mouse.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And plus this one's
So
all
nice.
RGB, which is really cool because colors.
Because that makes the high price much higher.
Yeah,
The
if they-
RGB is really cool. You can color match it to anything.
Yeah, if they just made a standard one that didn't have the RGB, I'd probably go for that because I just want this mouse really badly.
Yeah, everything in my build is one color, blue anyways, which, I mean, there's blue LEDs for like every device out there. So it's not that hard.
Yep.
So,
Hey, Kenny,
mouse
don't you
by
have
Logitech.
some words? Thoughts?
yeah,
Thoughts?
I had quite a
Oh
few
yeah,
thoughts.
Kenny doesn't like this because his claw
Well,
grip.
no, I've been looking at the specs and it looks pretty darn nice. I don't care for the way it looks. I don't think I like the way it feels, but that is very much just my personal preference. If you like the way Transformers look and feel in your hand,
No, no,
go
no,
for
no,
it.
no.
Um,
I think
the
if you have like claw grip, it's not really gonna matter.
yeah, I think what's the grip where your hand is resting mostly on the mouse?
The mouse hold grip. I'm just kidding. I don't know what it's called.
I don't know.
Flat
Well,
grip or something like that.
yeah, whatever palm grip, I think.
Palm grip, yeah. That's
Whatever that is, that's the grip I have, and my Death Adder works well because it's a Razor Death Adder. It's shaped like my hand, but again, that's all personal preference, so that is not a bad thing.
Yeah. The
the
grip
whole-
is actually an interesting thing because I tried out the G303 or whatever it's called, the Daedalus Core or something like that, and that is a really small mouse. I may just have big hands or something, but like I had to claw it a lot, and it just didn't seem like it was going to be very comfortable. And it was a more basic mouse, which I like, but it also had that RGB stuff on it. So maybe it's just the mouse is too small, but like there is something to be said about the grip.
Yeah. Also, now that I look at it again, it does look like the contours are a lot smoother where your hand actually goes. It's just a transformer, like in places you're not touching, so that's not nearly as bad as I thought from my first glance. But the whole wireless faster than wired sounds a little bit tricky. What I think they're probably talking about is it says it has a wireless and USB report rate of 1000 hertz, which means in the worst case, your movements will be recorded on your computer 1 millisecond late, plus the time it takes to actually send the signal. If it's refreshing 1000 times per second, if you were in a horrible situation like this is impossible, you could be refreshing it 1000 times per second but be 2 seconds behind. That's never going to happen. But the polling rate being 1000 hertz is standard for gaming mice, at least on USB. I don't know wireless polling rate what they normally are. What is my point? It looks really good, and 1000 hertz polling is going to minimize latency in the polling. I don't know if their wireless technology will actually be as fast as USB, but I doubt it will be significant. At 1000 hertz, I don't think it will be noticeably worse than a USB mouse at 1000 hertz.
Is this the first wireless gaming mouse that has RGB?
I'm pretty sure there
no.
have been a lot of Razer ones. I think their wireless ones all have chroma.
What is it called? It's not the Ouroboros. It's something else. I think the Razer Naga something has is a wireless RGB. But yeah, I think that's it. That's all I can really think of. Is that it for news right now? Because Kiral and I have something else to talk about.
Oh boy.
Is everyone else done?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so me and Kiral have both seen Batman v Superman, and we waited a week, so we didn't really want to spoil that much, but you have spoilers. There is a spoiler warning, so I think, because we can't talk about this movie without there being some sort of spoiler, so you have like 10 seconds or so to click off or click to, right now I'm going to insert what time you can skip to.
1 hour, 4 minutes, and 17 seconds.
Okay, so there you go. There's your time. So
The future is now.
the future is now. Kiral, you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, time to talk about Batman v Superman. What were your initial thoughts?
I thought it was a really good movie, a lot better than what any of the critics have been saying about it, or what people are gathering from it, from like the Rotten Tomatoes score, which I think is still at like a 28 or 29.
That's really low.
Rotten. Yeah.
I would say...
So,
what were you going to say, Kiral? Sorry.
I was going to say I don't think it deserves that, but it is what it is,
Yep.
I guess.
I would say that the one criticism I can agree with is that there are some parts where it is just kind of dragging and kind of boring. Just because I think that they made it 2.5 hours long when it really didn't need to be. I think it would have been a fine movie if it just was around 2 hours. I think they just tried to throw in too many things at once, and it just made the plot feel a little convoluted. But I still really liked it. I think Ben Affleck was a really good Bruce Wayne, And
Yes, definitely. A lot of people are saying that he was the best part of the movie.
Yes, and I just rewatched the Dark Knight trilogy this weekend, and I think he gives like he is a comparable Batman / Bruce Wayne to Christian Bale. I don't know if he's as good as Adam West, but we'll see in time.
We got a few more movies, a few more Justice League movies that this movie definitely set up.
Yes, I think
very not heavy-handedly, but it set it up just like, here it is. These are the facts. These are who's gonna be in it. We obviously don't know who like the villain's gonna be or anything.
Penguin.
But like they show us Cyborg. They show us Flash, which he already has his own TV show, so we already know that. And then they show us Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
Aquaman, and that Aquaman looks amazing.
Yes,
he looks like,
Jason Momoa.
He looks like a freaking amazing Aquaman. The biggest plot point spoiler thing is that Superman died at the end of this movie, and obviously we
killed
all
by what's his name?
Doomsday.
Doomsday.
Because Doomsday shanked him with his hand.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, but at the end, I think it would have been better if they didn't show after they put Clark Kent in the coffin and everything and started lowering it. I really wish they didn't make the dirt started rising off of it or whatever. I wish that wasn't in the movie. Just because
I wish it would have been like a Christopher Nolan subtle oh, is it real or is it not?
Yeah, Inception ending, or maybe after the credits. I don't know, because I feel like it would have been a lot better, because we would think, well, obviously everyone should know it by now that Superman is coming back. Superman may die, but he definitely comes back no matter what, because he's freaking Superman. And so I feel like it was not really entirely necessary to throw that, have that soil start rising up off the coffin or whatever. I just thought that if they left it more open, a lot more people would have thought, wow, that was pretty edgy, killing off Superman, That's my
possibly.
opinion.
Well, it wouldn't have been much of a Justice League movie if they
if they didn't have
just left him dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Or at least everybody think he's dead.
Yeah, and
then it would have kind of felt cheap in the next movie if all of a sudden Superman just shows up.
Yeah.
So I think you do have to have that that little teaser.
Yeah, I'm saying
he of course is going to come back.
Yeah. I thought it was really weird how this was a sequel to Man of Steel, but it was predominantly a Batman movie. I know.
I think that served well. I think it should have originally been a Batman kind of reboot.
Yeah.
But already set in the world.
I think it should have just been hey, this is where Batman stands in the DC, this DC universe. It's not Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Except I think they wanted to set up Justice League a little bit too much, and so what should have been almost purely a Batman film is a Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman and the rest of the Justice League up in there as well.
Yeah.
Which may confuse people or may people not like the movie as much.
I would say my two most negative things about this movie, other than the length of it, which I thought was a little ridiculous, is that one, Gotham City is not that close to Metropolis.
Actually, it is. It's kind of
No, it's
Gotham's
not.
kind of in. No, it is. If you read, I had the same question. I was like, wait a second. How close is it? Across the freaking bay?
Yeah,
what is
I know,
this?
Across the river,
So-
New Jersey or New York.
So Metropolis is supposed to be New York, but there's still a New York. So it's New York, Metropolis, and then
So it's-
Gotham's New Jersey.
So it's
So
Manhattan and New York City.
no, they're two completely separate cities.
Okay, that's weird. I didn't know.
But
that.
it's still supposed to represent that.
Well, whatever. I didn't know that. But also, I guess my other one is that the way Superman and Batman become friends is pretty stupid.
Martha,
Why'd
why'd you say that name?
For one thing, okay, if you don't know, the reason why they became friends is that both of their moms are named Martha. And so, like, Batman actually gets the upper hand on Superman, and Batman has, like, his foot on Superman's neck with the kryptonite spear about to, like, go into his head, and Superman's like, wait, you have to save Martha, which, for one thing, why would you say Martha instead of mom? Like, why save my mother instead of save Martha, which is kind of weird. And then immediately Batman's just like, why'd you say Martha? What? And then that's how they become friends, which is, I was like, okay. I feel like there's a different thing. Like, I was expecting that Doomsday would show up and Doomsday would start fighting both of them, and then they would...
That's kind of what I expected.
Like, yeah, and they'd be like, okay, I may not like you, but we need to get rid of this thing or else it's going to kill a lot of people. So, yeah. If I was to rate it like we rated Deadpool, I would rate it 6 paper towel rolls out of 10. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good movie to set up everything. I felt like it was a little long, and there were some interesting choices that they made.
Like Lex Luthor being crazy?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be his son from like a different comic book series, like a spin-off one.
I see. They do mention...
Yeah.
He does say, like, oh, my dad, so possibly...
Yeah, well...
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
So it's not like... original OG, like smarter than you, Lex Luthor.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like smarter than you, but still crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think Jesse Eisenberg still did a good job in whatever he was doing, because I think they basically told him, hey, be a crazy, evil, smart person, and that's exactly what he did, and I think he did a really good job with it. But I still think this movie could have been something a little bit better, just because, I don't know, this is what kind of like Batman, like, well, this movie fell into, what Civil War is going to fall into, and that's like superheroes and politics and stuff, and that's kind of, it's weird. It's definitely an interesting thing, like interesting topic for sure, but it just seems like I don't want this in every movie.
It's the reason why no one liked the prequels, because too many politics.
What prequel?
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, you're right. See, politics shouldn't be in anything. It just makes
it should just be
less.
action.
Yes.
Unless you're making a political thriller, then politics is fine.
Yeah.
One man will wall them all off.
Okay.
And make America great again. This summer in a theater near you.
That's just Donald Trump's campaign is a movie.
It's basically what it is.
It's definitely kind of seems like one. But yeah,
I'd watch it.
Yeah, what would you rate it, Kiral?
I would say it's about three USB cables out of 5. It's a solid movie. I liked it. I don't think it deserves any of the hate it got. Okay, or
most of it.
Most of the hate, except for the really heavy, dense plot that just trying to set up a whole actually cinematic universe. You know. With the rest of the Justice League and the individual heroes within that.
I think the reason why I liked it more than I thought I would is just because I went in with such low expectations. Like, I was still like, oh, it's going to be a good superhero movie, you know. It's not like, if I don't think too much about it, then I'll probably like it. And I think that's exactly what happened. Like, I thought, like, the scene where Batman is Batman and starts beating the crap out of everyone is amazing. Like, that was such a cool scene when he was saving his mom. Like, I really liked that. And, you know, there are some parts where it kind of drags on. Like, there's a lot of weird Bruce Wayne nightmare things. Some of them are cool, some of them are weird, but I thought it was definitely a better movie than I was expecting it to be.
Definitely.
Yep.
I'm not going to pay to watch it. That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
You don't have to. It's already made quite a bit of money, so...
Well, actually, I just read an article saying that the second week, it dropped off horribly. Like,
yeah, the first week it did really well, and then this week it
I think I heard it went like 68% down from last week.
People were expecting that to happen too.
Well, they were like, it's like 8 million below what analysts thought it would be. I can't remember the exact numbers, but it like did really, really, really well. Like a lot better than a lot of people were expecting the first week. But then the second week is exactly what's happening. I think the critics, you know, Marvel really bought out the critics a lot to push really hard that, hey, Batman v Superman's not that good a movie. And so that they can keep their comic book empire movie thing going, the juggernaut that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe going, and then have DC fall down and not do well. But that's just one theory.
Batman.
No, Adam West.
The only good Batman. The
That's
only
true.
Batman and what's the other one? Adam West and the Dark Knight.
No.
Batman.
George Clooney is a great Batman.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh.
And I didn't really like the one Michael Keaton, I think is his name. I don't think he was a good Batman either. I could be wrong. I haven't seen those movies in a long time.
Do you know
Or Val Kilmer.
Oh, God. What's
the Christopher Nolan Batman?
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, yeah.
Which one was the Batman nipples? Was that George Clooney?
I
They had
can't
nipples
remember.
on his suit.
Yeah.
Bat
Wait,
nipples. Like,
Oh, bat nipples.
like they were just like, yeah, it was weird. It was not a smart choice, I don't think.
Bat nipples.
I wouldn't look that up online.
Batman and Robin.
Okay, with that, is there anything else anyone wants to talk about?
Ew.
So, Batman related, or are we moving on?
Anything.
Anything. Well, I have two things. The first thing I want to do is in like 30 seconds redo what I said about the keyboard the mouse, because what I said sounded pretty dumb. So I can do it better in 30 seconds. I'm going to set a timer.
Joel Schumacher is his name.
What is his name?
For
Joel
what?
Schumacher for nipples.
That wasn't
the
Batman,
actor?
though.
I think it.
No, it was George Clooney or Michael Keaton. I think he was
Oh,
the
that must-
costume designer.
Oh,
Okay, so
George Clooney. Yeah.
George Clooney.
Yeah, Batman Forever.
No, Batman and Robin. It was the one
Oh,
with Arnold
right.
Schwarzenegger as.
That you should watch
yeah.
that, because that is a joy to watch. Because he is ridiculous. Because all he talks, like, he just says ice puns.
He's puns the whole time in Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice. It's the best.
Yeah, he's
I
like,
bet I'd
you
love
guys
that."
got to chill out.
You have to chill out.
Wow.
Anyway, Kenny, you can go ahead.
Okay, so starting timer for 30 seconds. Let's see if I can make it. Okay, so for the new Logitech G900, its big claim to fame is its 1000 hertz polling rate even on wireless. Now, polling rate is very important. It's a major component to input lag. A lot of old mice, especially definitely ones that are on a PS2 interface, an old style mouse interface, pull at 125 hertz. That's also the most common for USB. Which means in the worst case, there will be 8 milliseconds of delay between when you move your mouse and when it is received on the computer. It should average 4, if I remember correctly. So then in addition to the latency from the polling rate, you have latency from the interface you have. There's going to be some overhead in USB or wireless. And so that's usually a smaller component than the polling rate. Now, this mouse has a 1000 hertz polling rate on wireless, which should put it very close to the latency you'd find on a standard USB 1000 hertz mouse, but you're going to get very similar performance on wireless. I doubt that the interface latency on the wireless mode is going to be lower than USB, but I bet it will be very close. I was a minute. I totally underestimated.
Good, there's Kenny's revised feelings.
Oh no, you're doomed.
So
We must kick you out now.
it's definitely going to be better than a 125 hertz anything, even on wireless mode. But yeah, so what I've been doing lately and why I'm so thinking about latencies and stuff is I was playing Osu. Like, that's pretty much all I do. So I was playing it and I was thinking, wow, it feels like every time I click on something, a little bit later, the click happens I get the sound in my speakers. So I thought, how could I measure this? So what I did is I put my microphone next to my speakers and my keyboard and smashed my keyboard really hard on the dots. I recorded in Audacity hitting the keyboard and the sound coming out of my speakers at the same time. I measured the time difference between when I hit the key on my keyboard, when the sound came out of the speakers, and you won't believe what happens next. It will blow your mind. There was 54...
Thanks, BuzzFeed.
There was for my PS2 keyboard, which is an old style keyboard, there was it's the one I've been using though. It's just a generic, it's Dell. It's a rubber dome keyboard. It's 54 milliseconds from hitting the key to hearing the sound in Osu, which is a a 20th of a second. Anyone want to correct me?
Nope.
Yeah. Okay.
Nope, sounds
No,
about
you
right.
do the math.
I think it's a little over a 20th of a second, I think. And that's actually quite a bit, actually, here. 1,000 divided by 54. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure. It's a lot. You can hear it. It sounds kind of like that. And it's not very pleasant to play that way. I thought, I wonder if I can reduce that. How could I reduce this? So I went around, and everyone else here has like super gaming equipment, everything. I got to try a Thermaltake gaming keyboard with Cherry MX Blues. It's a USB keyboard. And I got to try a Razer Black Widow Ultimate, not Chroma Edition, but I don't think that really matters. And I got to test. Yeah, I got to test how long they took to go from hitting the key to having the sound play in Osu. I'm doing all this measuring in... I find the peak of the sound from hitting the key and the peak from the hit in Osu, and I measure the distance between them. So the Thermaltake USB got 48 milliseconds, which is better than my 54. The Black Widow got 48 milliseconds again, so they were about the same. My Death Adder actually did better. It got 43 milliseconds, and I'm thinking that that's because it's polling at 1,000 hertz. That's that latency reduction. Just because it reports faster, it beats out the other devices. So I thought, well, PS2, that's a really old keyboard connection standard. It's
Yep.
it's
It's not as old as a PS1, but
I think this interface is older.
yes, it is.
But anyway, it on the computer side, it responds to the keys using interrupts. It's not requesting, hey, what keys have been pressed every 125 or 1,000 times a second. It's just waiting for messages, and as soon as it gets a message, it takes the message and responds to it. So it should be really fast. But my PS2 keyboard it benchmarked the worst out of all of them by 6 milliseconds. And so I was thinking about why. I figured something internal to the keyboard must be the cause of most of the latency. And so what I did is I tried a very similar Dell keyboard that was USB. It got exactly the same results. So what I wanted to find out was, using PS2 with an optimized controller on a keyboard, could I beat the 43 millisecond Death Adder? If I have super fast response to key presses and then fire the message on the PS2 immediately, as fast as the controller can, would it beat the 1,000 hertz polling Death Adder? And the answer is...
You will find out next week on episode 11. I'm just kidding. No,
No, actually, I just finished working on the prototype today, so I can tell you now. You can. I got down to an average of 35 milliseconds from key to sound just by using my own microcontroller and building my own keyboard. I got some circuit boards printed that hold 5 Cherry MX any color switches. I like reds. That's just my preference. And I got an Arduino Pro Mini. It's got it's got somewhere between 10 and 20 inputs, digital inputs, more than enough for the 5 keys I have. And I hooked it up to a PS2 connector. I programmed it to, it's pulling the keys as fast as it can because I'm kind of lazy and didn't want to deal with hardware interrupts on the Arduino. I don't even know if they have hardware interrupts for each pin, but it pulls at as fast as it can. And then I calculated it's got a clock rate of, I think it's 1,500 hertz, sending 1 bit every 1,500th. No. The clock rate on PS2 is, or at least the one I set up because I'm in charge of the clock rate, is 15 kilohertz, which means 15,000 times per second I send a bit, which means each bit takes 1 divided by 1,000 milliseconds divided by 1,500 seconds. That's 0.066 bar milliseconds per bit. There are 11 bits per message in each PS2 key message, so that makes 0.7 milliseconds to transmit an entire message with the headers at the end to the computer. So I've effectively reduced. The report rate is infinite. It reports the instant I receive a key press, and it sends the data to the computer in under 1 millisecond. And so with all of that combined and about $100 later, I am down to 35 milliseconds in OSU. 35 milliseconds key to sound.
Was it worth it?
Was it? Yeah, it is so much more fun. The last time I got a 50 was very recently, but it's a lot less frequent because I'm not having to hit just ever so slightly early. It feels a lot more natural. I don't think that I'm going to see a significant performance benefit, kind of like the way I didn't improve a lot when I got switched from mouse to tablet, but it's definitely feels better to play this way. And yeah, so I didn't play any games. That was what I was doing this week. 35 milliseconds from 54. I beat the Death Adder.
Nice.
Yep. Also,
Awesome.
I completely screwed up the first circuit board. If you ever make a circuit board, don't screw it up. Double check like everything. Triple check everything.
Quadruple.
Yeah, if possible. The current design has quite a few flaws, and I'm going to be ordering a new one soon, I think. But yeah, it was pretty fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, also, so I would the last thing. I wish that PS2 supported more than a 100... mouse-wise, PS2 isn't very good. My Death Adder is definitely better than a PS2 mouse because PS2 always pulls at 125 hertz. So I was thinking, hey, I could apply this to a mouse and make a better mouse. But no, you can't. USB is the way to go.
All right.
Yep, there you go.
Also, one last thing I want to say. Apparently, all DS cartridges have been stopped being produced. So there you
Whoa.
go. I don't
Whoa.
think 3DS ones, but DS ones. So there you go.
I'm more surprised that they were still being produced until recently.
Yeah, me too. But that's it. Sorry, I just saw that in a news article. But yeah, okay. So anything else? Anyone else wants to say? You guys done? I'll take that as we're done. So thank you guys for listening to the GameBloc Cast. Let me retry that. Thank you guys for
Thanks
listening
for
to the
choosing
GameBloc.
GameBloc.
Okay. Thank you for listening to the GameBloc Cast. We're a weekly show, so you guys should check us out every week on Mondays is what we try to do. And if you guys want to get in touch with us or, send us a question or a criticism, feel free to do so at the GameBlocCast@gmail.com. If you want to see us on social media, we're on GameBloc. We're GameBloc on Twitter and Facebook. Also, leave us a review on iTunes or SoundCloud because we're on both of those things as well. And check out our GameBloc blog, which is always really cool because it's our own website and we try to do unique things on it, and we will continue to do so in the future. And with that, see you guys later.
Bye. I love you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Love you
Never
too.
leave my side. I'll always be there
Hold
for
my
you.
hand.
Deep breaths.
That's a good question.
I have no idea.
Like Kearney Mesa. Yeah. San Diego.
Bernie Sanders.
No.
It's a mix of Colonel Sanders and Bernie Sanders.
Oh, God.
Kearney Sanders. Buy the game, eat the food, win the election. Just kidding.
Colonel Sanders and Bernie Sanders, that's like two nightmares rolled into one.
Yeah.
We need like Trump and Jack from Jack in the Box.
Those are also not.
It'd probably be worse.
Uh,
It's tough to say.
moving on.
The Let's Not Get Political podcast.
Too late. We already are.
Ah.
Full endorsement of. Oh man, I always forget his name.
McAfee.
No, the guy that supports anarchy and wears a boot on his head.
Yeah,
He's run for president since the 2000s.
I forgot him.
Vermin Supreme.
Yep, Vermin
Yeah,
Supreme.
that guy. Yep.
The Pony Requirement.
We're in
The
sync.
Pony for All Act.
Yep. This is the GameBloc Cast, episode 10. I'm your host, Richard Sherman, and today on the show we have Kiral.
Hello.
What? That's not how that
Are
goes.
you not ready? You weren't ready, Jonathan. I could tell. You want me to start over?
I go first.
Okay, fine.